Hey, fellow gun lovers, stop scrolling. This is the rifle revival scoop you've been craving. We're talking these forgotten beasts that are clawing their way back into the spotlight for 2026, blending battle-hardened grit with that classic American swagger. From bullpups that handle like a dream in tight spots to lever actions that your granddad swore by. These aren't just relics. They're shooters ready to dominate ranges and hunts again. Some are already dropping jaws on dealer shelves. Others are whispering comeback rumors that'll make your trigger finger itch. Stick tight as we count them down. Trust me, you won't want to miss which one's gunning for your safe next. If this fires you up, smash that like button and follow Survival Gear Showcase. Savage Model 99. Alright, let's kick this off with a lever action legend that breaks all the rules, the Savage Model 99. This bad boy, shelved back in '98, is still the rifle shooters beg Savage to resurrect. And with the lever craze heating up, 2026 might just be its year. Why? It ditched the old tubular mag for a slick rotary one, holding 5 rounds safely with those pointy Spitzer bullets. No more chain fire worries, letting it chamber hot stuff like 250 Savage, 300 Savage, or 308 Winchester. Picture this, a 20 to 24-inch barrel pushing 150 grain 308 loads at about 2,600 frames per second, effective out to 300 yards without breaking a sweat. Weighs around 7.5 pounds, stretches 39 inches overall, light enough for a day in the woods, but sturdy for that knockdown power on deer or hogs. What sets it apart is that forward-thinking design. It was competing with bolt guns on range and accuracy way before modularity was a buzzword. Short-stroke lever, hammerless action smooth as butter, and that brass counter on the side tells you rounds left at a glance. In the field, it's a brush buster's best friend. Quick follow-ups, reliable in mud or cold. And that rotary mag swaps cartridges faster than you can say rechamber. But here's the rub. Used ones fetch premium prices, around $800 average on the secondary market, with no official MSRP for new ones yet, since Savage hasn't bitten. Rumors swirl about CNC Magic making a comeback feasible, solving those old tooling headaches. Imagine a fresh run with updated metallurgy, but that timeless walnut stock collectors would lose their minds, and new shooters, they discover why it's the original mag-fed lever. Ever wonder why lever guns got stuck in the past? The 99 flipped the script, blending tradition with performance that still holds up. If demand keeps yelling, Savage might listen. Could 2026 finally deliver? Fingers crossed, because this one's pedigree screams, buy me first. Valmet M76 and M78 Finnish AK. Shifting gears to something a bit more exotic, the Valmet M76 and M78, those Finnish AK masterpieces that only true enthusiasts chase like buried treasure. These aren't your sloppy Soviet knockoffs. They're precision-tuned beasts with stamped receivers, cold hammer-forged barrels, and fit finish that makes Russian originals look amateur. Chambered in 7.62x 39mm, they spit 123 grain FMJ at around 2,350 frames per second from a 16.5-inch barrel, effective to 300 to 400 yards in skilled hands. Weigh about 8 pounds, stretch 36 inches with stock extended. Compact for room clearing, but balanced for longer shots. The M76 rocks a tubular stock, folding or fixed, while the M78 amps it up with RPK vibes. But both deliver tighter tolerances and better metallurgy for sub-MOA accuracy that standard AKs can only dream of. Why the hype? Finland took the Kalashnikov blueprint and finished it, pun intended, with superior quality control. In real-world use, that stamped receiver shrugs off abuse, and the gas system cycles flawlessly, even suppressed. I've heard stories of guys running them in competitions, out shooting ARs at mid-range thanks to that barrel harmonics. But rarity bites. Limited imports mean used prices hover around $3,500, $4,000. Whispers of licensed repros or new export runs in 2026 could flood the market. Tooling exists, demand's rabid among AK collectors. If it happens, expect variants with modern rails for optics, keeping that holy grail status intact. Isn't it wild how a Cold War tweak turned a workhorse into a premium shooter? Would you drop coin on one for your collection? Or save it for range days that feel like history lessons? Winchester Model 1895. Now, for a slice of pure Americana, the Winchester Model 1895. Teddy Roosevelt's go-to for big game that blended lever speed with serious punch. This box mag-fed monster wasn't just for deer. It handled 30-06 Springfield, 405 Winchester, or 30-40 Crag, pushing 150 grain 30-06 at 2,700 frames per second from a 24-inch barrel. Tips the scales at 8 pounds, measures 42 inches overall, beefy, but maneuverable for horseback hunts or African safaris, as TR proved. That box mag allowed powerful cartridges without tubular risks, making it a dangerous game slayer back in the day. Fast forward, Browning under Winchester has reissued classics like the 1886 and 1892. So why not the 1895? Infrastructure's there, and with lever revivals peaking, 2026 could see a modern twist, updated sights, better steel, but that iconic straight grip walnut. In practice, it's a hunter's dream. Quick lever throws for follow-ups on charging, critters, and that flat-top receiver begs for a scope. Reliability, battle-tested in wars and wilderness, with a smooth action that cycles even after mud baths. Current MSRP sits at $1,599 for standard models, $1,959 for high grade, and they're available now, but expect expanded variants if demand surges. Collectors love the history TR's medicine gun, while shooters dig the power for elk or bear. Ever think a 19th century design could still drop game like modern bolts? If it hits shelves fresh in 2026, would you grab one to channel your inner Rough Rider? Marlin 336 Classic. Hey, sticking with that lever action vibe, let's talk about the Marlin 336 Classic, a true blue American workhorse that's been through the ringer, but came out swinging under Ruger's wing. This one's no stranger to deer stands across the heartland. Chambered in 30-30 Winchester, with a 20.25-inch cold hammer forged barrel that sends 150 grain bullets, zipping at around 2,400 frames per second. Effective range? Comfy at 200 yards, but push it further with good glass and steady hands. Weighs in at about 7 pounds, overall length 38.5 inches, with a 6-round tubular magazine that loads smooth as silk. The action's that classic Marlin side eject lever, micro-groove rifling for tack driving accuracy, and an American black walnut stock that feels like it belongs in your grip pistol grip. Checkered for no-slip control in wet weather. What makes it tick? It's brush-friendly, quick pointing, and deadly on whitetails, with more harvest under its belt than any other cartridge rifle combo. Ruger relaunched it in 2023 with fresh machinery, ditching those old quality hiccups, think tighter tolerances, better bluing, and no more wobbly sights. In the field, it's a hunter's quiet companion. Cycle that lever fast for follow-ups on running game, and the 30-30 flat trajectory slices through thickets without drama. I've chatted with folks who've taken it on black bear hunts, praising how it shoulders instinctively. Current MSRP sits at $1,279 for the standard classic, with the stainless SBL variant at $1,529, affordable for what you get, especially with limited availability, pushing used prices to $700, $1,000, $200. But 2026? Expect ramped up production, maybe threaded barrels for suppressors or synthetic stocks for all-weather abuse. The lever renaissance is alive. Folks, polymer ARs are cool, but nothing beats the click-clack satisfaction of tradition. Isn't it funny how Granddad's rifle still outshines fancy tacticals in the woods? If a fresh variant drops, would you snag one for your next season or stick to the heirloom? M1 Garand. All right, transitioning to semi-auto icons, the M1 Garand steps up the greatest battle implement ever devised, as Patton called it, and boy does it live up to the hype. This World War II beast chambers 30-06 Springfield, feeding 8 rounds via on-block clip from a 24-inch barrel that clocks M2 ball ammo at 2,800 frames per second. Effective to 500 yards with iron sights, even farther if you're dialed in. Unloaded weight around 9.5 pounds, overall 43.5 inches, hefty, but balanced for those long patrols or range sessions. Gas-operated semi-auto action, with that signature ping when the clip ejects, and adjustable sights for precision tweaks. History's baked in. D-Day beaches, Iwo Jima foxholes. Korean winters, it outran bolt actions with rapid fire, revolutionizing infantry tactics. Today's CMP versions blend vintage soul with modern remanufacturing, fresh barrels, updated receivers, and quality control that fixes wartime wear. Shooters love it for that thump on steel targets, and collectors geek out over the heritage without the rust. In practice, it's reliable as taxes. Short-stroke gas system shrugs off fouling, and with practice, you can bang clips home blindfolded. I've seen vets at matches grouping sub-2 MOA at 200 yards impressive for a 1,936 design. CMP's current MSRP is $1,900 plus $40 shipping including a custom case, and as of 2025 they're cranking out new ones with a 12-rifle yearly limit to meet demand. No more year-long waits. 2026 could see even more variants, like scoped models or 308 conversions for easier ammo hunts. Ever ping a clip and feel like you're channeling history? With supply catching up, is this the year you add one to your arsenal, or are you holding out for that perfect field grade? AR-180. Now, for a piston-driven gem that Eugene Stoner cooked up after the AR-15, the AR-180. A semi-auto sibling that's smarter, cheaper to make, and begging for a 2026 revival. Chambered in 5.56 NATO, it rocks an 18.25-inch barrel pushing 55-grain loads at 3,200 frames per second, effective beyond 400 yards. Light at 6.5 pounds, 38 inches overall, with a folding stock for backpack stashing. Short-stroke gas piston keeps the action clean, no direct impingement. Gunk and stamped steel receivers made it license-friendly for global builds, influencing rifles like the G36 or SA-80. Why the buzz? It fixed AR-15 flaws. Cheaper production, better reliability and crud, and that quick-detach barrel for caliber swaps. Militaries skipped it stateside, but Japan and the UK dug the DNA. On the range, its attack driver piston reduces recoil for faster follow-ups, and the side charging handle feels intuitive. Add modern rails, and it's a CQB champ or varmint slayer. I've heard builders praise its modularity pre-AR boom, slap on a red dot, and it outmaneuvers bulkier setups. No current production MSRP since the 82nd shutdown, but used ones average $2,372. Rumors of CNC revivals persist. Imagine faithful repros at $1,500, $2,000, with updated furniture. 2026 might deliver piston AR fever without the premium price tag. Who knew Stoner's sequel could haunt modern designs? If a new run lands, would you trade your DIAR for this underrated legend, or keep it classic? Steyr AUG. Diving deeper into bullpup territory. The Steyr AUG, yeah, that's Steyr AUG if you're feeling nostalgic, is the compact powerhouse that's never truly faded, but is set to explode in civilian circles come 2026. This Austrian icon chambers 5.56 NATO, with a 16-inch barrel quick swap to 20-inch or shorter, hurling 55-grain loads at nearly 3,000 frames per second. Overall length, a tidy 28.15 inches, weighing 7.9 pounds unloaded, shorter than your average AR-15, but packing the same punch for better maneuverability in vehicles or tight quarters. Short-stroke gas piston keeps things clean, no matter the dust, mud, or freeze, with tool-free barrel changes and an integrated optic rail that holds zero like glue. Adopted by militaries from Austria to Australia. It's battle-proven for reliability. Think Special Forces trusting it in deserts or jungles without a jam. On the civilian side, it's shedding that quirky rep. Shooters crave that forward barrel for home defense or three-gun way comps, where the balance lets you swing fast. Pop the pins, swap configs in seconds, modular before it was trendy. I've talked to owners who run it suppressed, praising the low recoil for rapid doubles on paper. Current MSRP hovers around $2,035 for new models, with used ones at about $1,982, but expect expanded variants in 2026, like enhanced triggers or rail systems to meet surging demand. Availability is improving, no more hunting for imports. Isn't it cool how a 70 design still outsmarts modern rifles in compactness? If 2026 brings more affordable runs, would you finally pull the trigger on this bullpup legend for your setup? HK SL8. Topping our list, the HK SL8. The undercover civilian G36 that's been lurking in the shadows but is revving up for a big 2026 push. Essentially a neutered NATO favorite, it chambers 223 Remington through a 20.8-inch cold hammer forged barrel. tipping the scales at under 9 pounds and stretching 38.58 inches overall. Short-stroke piston gas system means less fouling, cleaner runs, and that German precision shines with sub-MOA groups once you're acclimated. No full auto, but the accuracy and reliability mirror the military G36, deployed by over 40 countries and everything from spec ops to border patrols. What hooks you? That pedigree and a legal package, battle-tested DNA without the red tape. Ergonomics divide, folks. The thumbhole stock balance is great for some, awkward for others. But a bit of range time tightens those groups fast. In real use, it's a varmint vaporizer or long-range plinker, with effective range pushing 500 yards iron-sighted. HK reintroduced it in 2024, at market rates, ditching collector premiums, and demand spiking with the bullpup boom. Current MSRP is about $1,699 for new, with used averaging $1,171 competitive for that HK quality. Look for expanded production in 2026. New variants, maybe caliber options or accessory kits to capitalize on the hype? Ever feel like you're holding history with a twist of modern edge? If the SL8 floods dealers next year, is it your top pick to master that unique setup? There you have it, folks. 8 rifles rising from the ashes, each with stories that could fill a campfire night. From lever-action classics that echo the Wild West, to bullpups built for tomorrow's fights. These aren't just comebacks. They're reminders that good engineering never dies. Demand's driving it all, turning museum pieces into must-haves for your range bag or safe. Which one surprised you most? Drop a comment below. If this got your gears turning, hit that like button and follow Survival Gear Showcase for more deep dives into gear that matters. Stay locked and loaded.